Look at dead and call it clear. 1, check the light. 2, cut the knot. 3, fasten tight. 4, hold your spot. 1, check the light. 2, cut the knot. 3, fasten tight. 4, hold your spot. Belt of truth, hold fast. Belt of truth, hold fast. What broke you back then won't lead you now. Belt of truth, hold fast. Belt of truth, hold fast. Stand the truth out loud. Stand your ground. First real example, you heard you fail. Truth says you fail, you can still heal. Second example, they called you weak. Truth says you bleed, but you still speak. Third example, shame said hide. Truth said walk, keep your head high. Fourth example, fear said freeze. Truth said move, get on your knees. Fifth example, you're alone. Truth says no, you're not unknown. Sixth example, they won't stay. Truth says love still makes a way. 1, check the light. 2, cut the knot. 3, fasten tight. 4, hold your spot. 1, check the light. 2, cut the knot. 3, fasten tight. 4, hold your spot. Said I'm too far gone. Truth says no, the work goes on. 8, I missed my chance. Truth says stand, take one more stand. 9, I can't forgive. Truth says you can, that's how you live. 10, I'm not enough. Truth says run, you're built for tough. Belt of truth, hold fast. Belt of truth, hold fast. What broke you back then won't lead you now. Belt of truth, hold fast. Belt of truth, hold fast. Tell the truth out loud. Stand your ground. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, real life, real.
Good morning. It is Wake Up Reveille, which means it's Monday morning.
Yeah, time to wake up. It's a good Monday morning.
It is. I ended up going to the district convention for the National Exchange Club.
Cool. And
So I got to meet the vice president and the president of the whole organization. And we have a program in the Exchange Club called One Nation Under God. And that is an area for work that the organization does for military, veterans, things like that.
Mhm.
And I was telling them about the program we're creating. And so they want an outline with a copy of it when we're done. And it might be something that we actually, as the Exchange Club, start using with all of our different organizations.
Cool.
And we'll be teaching, different clubs to how to run the program so that they can hold support groups throughout the U.S.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
And then coming up in July, I was invited to speak at the National Convention in Omaha about the program and about autism and about veterans and mental health and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, we got to get together about the. Did you get my text on the other day about?
I did. Did Ron call you?
If he did, I didn't get it.
Okay. I'll call Rick.
Well, leave Rick alone. He's on vacation or something. Got those 7 days.
Okay. Okay. So here's how
I've
Rick
been
works.
bugging him a good bit anyway.
You can't bug Rick. Trust me.
Unless you say you're going to be there.
If there was a way to bug
Rick,
That's the only way. If there was an other way to bug Rick, it would have been something my kids do, because every time my son has an issue or a question about satellites and space, and they call Rick, because that's what Rick used to do in the Air Force, is he actually helped launch satellites. Rick does go on vacation, or he goes on trips. They're not vacations; they're working trips. So like he's still gonna do the show tomorrow, even though he's on a stay. And that's the fun part about in the travel business, is that 5 minutes of work, that vacation becomes a tax write-off. And he spends most of his time traveling to different places and different things. So he's always around. If he's in the country, he's around. Sometimes it's a little bit harder when he's not. And that's the fun part of like working with Serge, is that if one of us isn't available, there's another one, there's somebody else. And I know Ron was gonna call you, but Linda was really sick, and he started getting a little bit of a sore throat. So, because we didn't do the show on Saturday or anything. Tummy time? All right. So you are listening to Wake Up Reveille, and this is how the show exists for one reason: to drag you out of the drift and back to the fight. Not to make you feel good, not to give you something to think about on your way to work, to move you, to challenge you, to hand you back the armor you have been leaving at the door every morning and walking out exposed. If you are comfortable right now, good, but that's about to change. Today, today's episode, we're going into the wound, the one in the chest, the one that guilt and shame have been keeping open for months, maybe years, but the one that you have been managing instead of closing. It's too manager. Come with me. It's too manager.
Hello.
All right. Hello.
I'm on my phone now. These bunch of yahoos. Irritating. You got me now?
Yep, give me one.
Okay.
It's too far. You got a little boy that thinks the computer's his and not family and wants it.
Ah.
All right. Hang on one second. He has to every morning check to make sure his Roblox is still on the computer, that I didn't delete it.
Mm.
He's playing a game called Feather Family, and it's all about raising birds. You unlock different birds, and so he's learning how to unlock things and deal with animals.
Is he going to be an ornithologist whenever he grows up?
He wants an aviary, and I keep telling him we're not masochists. We can't have one because we have cats.
Yeah, another Jurassic Park. You ever see that one?
Yes.
The helicopter goes into the aviary area, and all the pterodactyls escape.
That's it. You know, today we're going to talk about armor, and we like being comfortable. And so many of us with PTSD, we end up with this thought process. And I don't know if it's because we're tired of fighting, we're tired of everything, or what. But and society says this too, that once you have this trauma, you have this problem, you're stuck with it for life, and there's nothing you can do about it.
There is something you can do about it, right?
There is. There is. Once you take off, one, we change the mindset, but two, it's a wound. And you look at it as a wound, which means it can be healed. And that's the big part about it, is that it's not something that's lost. And the biggest part is everything we do it on armor. So once we armor up, it makes it easier. So before we get into today's episode, let's talk about the first parts of it and the armor reality of what we've covered so far. You don't fail because life is hard, because you've done much, much harder. But you fail because you walked into the hardest fight of your life without your armor on. The war didn't end when you turned your gear in, when you signed your D214, or you put in your retirement papers. The war changed arenas. And you look at Ephesians 6:12 is not a metaphor. It's a military briefing. Where we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authority, against the cosmic powers over against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. No, the rulers, the authorities, the cosmic powers, the spiritual forces. This is very organized strategic opposition. And if you look at the Ethiopian books of Enoch, one of the biblical canon preserved by the Ethiopian Orthodox tradition.
You're breaking up
It
pretty
makes
good.
clear that this opposition had been running this playbook longer than any military doctor in human history. This is not new. This is ancient. Our ancestors, from the beginning of time, we've gone through this. And it's specifically targeting the warriors who are not armored. And the hard question from episode 1 is still on the table. But it was the last time you deliberately put your armor on before you started your day. Not prayed, not hoped, but deliberately intentionally put it on. And if you can't answer the question, you answered the question. You have it.
That's true. That's it.
The next episode was the belt of truth. The belt of truth is not virtue, but it's structural. It's the piece that holds everything else in place. Without it, nothing else functions the way it was designed to function. And the enemy knows this, which is why his primary tactic is not destruction, but it is deception, confusion, lies, PTSD, trauma. You're stuck that way for life. Those are all lies telling us and questioning us to get us to stay stuck.
The
Lies
world
sound
wants
like
it to
your
stay
own
stuck.
thoughts. That's it. And because the world wants us to stay stuck, we stay stuck. And the 3 specific lies, and I'm going to name them off because one of them is probably running through your head at this very moment. This is who I am now. The lie of permanent damage. The idea that what happened to you or what you did has permanently redefined who you are. And that's a lie. John 8:32, you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. One of the most quoted quotes in the Bible for everything, but yet never ever used in the right context to uplift. It's always used as a weapon. Have you ever noticed that?
I have.
Why is
People don't want to hear the truth. Whenever they hear the truth, it makes them mad. You shall hear the truth, and it shall make you mad. And then it will set you free. Only after it makes you mad.
Or people will use it in ways to trap you.
Yeah. Don't use that.
Not manage you, not help you cope, but set you free. I'll never change. The lie of fixed identity, the idea that the version of yourself you are living right now is the final version. But you're not a finished product. You are a warrior in process. You think about this all the time. Are you the same person you were when you joined the military? Are you the same person you were when you got out? No, because you're always evolving, you're always changing. You're never stuck unless you want to be. Another big one is I missed my chance. The lie of closed doors. The idea that the window for your purpose, your relationships, your impact has closed. And that is a lie.
That is a
Ephesians
lie.
6:14 says to stand, present tense, active tense, which means the fight is still happening and you are still in it. And underneath all those lies is the fourth one, the one that makes all the others possible. I can handle this alone. When you look at it, what do you do alone? There is nothing. From boot camp, from growing up, you always have support. It's the same thing now. So reason why you learn to do things in groups and battle buddies and someone military phrase, we got your six. That doesn't end when you leave. It just looks a little different. And then last week's episode, Overcomers of the Pride That Kills. We went into one thing that keeps warriors from doing anything about the first two episodes, pride. Not arrogance, but the specific kind of pride that a warrior culture produces, the kind that looks like strength from the outside and functions like exposure inside. And I want to bring back and know it landed for a lot of people. You drove to the VA, you sat in that parking lot for 45 minutes, you drove home, and you told yourself that counts as trying. Does it? It's not trying. Pride keeping you from the help that was designed for you. Proverbs 16:18. Pride goes before destruction, the haughty spirit before a fall. James 4:6. God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. The Father does not oppose you. He opposes the pride that is keeping you from receiving what he already made available to you. And in the 5-pillar framework in episode 3, acknowledge, access, align, act, advance. It's the same thing. Every mission and combat goes by the same pillars.
Mm-hmm.
So the way it's designed, it should be familiar to you. And I asked a question at the end of the episode, and I want to ask it again. Which pillar did you stop at? Because everyone stops somewhere. Where did you stop?
Exactly. I stopped at believing in myself a long time ago. But as I said before, life is not stagnant. Life keeps moving on. So there's only two people that can actually get you up and moving again. And one is God, Lord, the Creator.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is yourself. Whenever you finally get tired enough of feeling the way you do, looking the way you do, acting the way you do, you're going to change. Because you want to. You can't believe that the government is going to take care of you. And that's what everybody wants you to believe. The only person that's going to take care of you the way you want to be taken care of is you.
That's it. But there's help for you and steps to help you, but you got to make those steps.
Exactly. You gotta act. I've been working on that and moving forward. I'm advancing as
You are. I mean, you just started a travel business,
yeah.
and you're reaching out for help in places where you get stuck.
As Patton said, I don't want to get any reports that we're holding our position. We're not holding on to anything except the enemy. And we're going to kick him in the rear end. Right?
Exactly. You know, and I'm sitting here, or I'm going to different conventions and different things that involve a bunch of people I don't know, and actually talking to them.
Yeah.
And I only had 2 anxiety flare-ups at that convention because there was a lot of people and a lot of things going on, and you're moving from room to room, and it was a lot.
I probably have a lot more anxiety than just 2.
Well, and that, you know, and that's it. You know, people are very welcoming and, you know, stuff like that. So, you know, so it made it easier. And it was in my hometown area. So it made it a little bit easier for. So I knew that I wasn't stuck. I could always just go if I needed to.
Yep.
But like I have cameras set up in my house and outside my house so I could check in on the kids, which helped a lot. So I wasn't worrying about what was going on at home while I was gone. But so the wound in the chest plate of armor. And I want to ask you something. I want you to actually sit with it. Is there something you did or could not stop that you have never fully let go of? And everyone that is deployed, everyone who's been in the military can answer that question. And a lot of times it's called survivor's remorse or survivor's guilt,
Mm-hmm.
among many other things, or the coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the part that people mistake this, where you need to speak it out loud. You need to write it in a journal. And the important part about this, and this is what makes it so much easier, is we're understanding better with the brain and understanding better ways of doing things. And it's not important for you to speak it out loud. It's not important for you to write it so that it's there for everyone to see. What's important is that your mind, your body, you connect the dots. And it can be internal,
Mm-hmm.
as long as you yourself can connect the dots.
But
It's
you got
the
to be
fact
willing
that
to
you
connect.
know. That's it. And it's easier to connect them when you know that it's an internal thing, not an external thing. Because then you don't have the worry about what if someone finds out. No, I truly believe that that is a big part of where we're struggling with help, getting help, is that we're so afraid that it becomes a dirty secret. No, this is
Mm-hmm.
what I did in combat. No one can find out because I can get in trouble later on. And it's not important about that. It's about you connecting the dots internally. You
Right.
know, maybe it's a decision you made in a split second are conditions that most people cannot imagine. Maybe it was someone you could not save. Maybe it was something that you saw that you cannot unsee. Maybe it was an order you followed. Maybe it was an order you did not follow. Maybe it was something that happened before you ever put on a uniform, something that followed you in and followed you out. Whatever it is, you know what it is. And this is what It has been in the chest for a long time. And this is what I need you to understand before we go any farther. There's a difference between guilt and shame. And this is not theology. This is operational intelligence. It's about how the enemy attacks and how we need to understand the distinction. Guilt says, I did something wrong. Guilt is about an action. It's a resolution path. It can be addressed, confessed, received, and released. Guilt, properly processed, leads to change. Shame, on the other hand, I am something wrong. Shame is about the identity. It's designed to neutralize it. It is the enemy's upgrade from guilt, because once he gets you to believe that what you did is who you are permanently and irreversibly, you are no longer a threat. You are exactly where he wants you. You know, the enemy's strategy is not complicated. He uses guilt to generate shame. And when he uses shame to fuse the action to your identity. And once the fusion happens, once you believe that the worst thing you ever did was or experience is the truest thing about you, you stop fighting. You manage, you perform, you go through all the motions, but you're not advancing. You are contained. And here's the fact, the sad part about it is, the cost of carrying it alone is not abstract. It's your marriage, it's your sleep, it's your presence with your kids, it's the faith that feels hollow even when you go through the motions. It's the version of yourself that your family sees, the functional present in, body absent, and everything that matters. And a lot of us start out with guilt and we end up in shame, and that's where we get stuck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Ephesians 6:14. Listen to this like a direct order. Stand therefore, having fastened on the belt of truth, having put on the breastplate of righteousness. In the Roman military armor, the breastplate covered the heart, the lungs, the vital organs, everything that keeps you alive. A soldier hit in the chest without a breastplate is finished. Got wounded, finished. The Romans understood this, which is why no Roman soldier went into the battle without it. The spiritual parallel is exact. The breastplate of righteousness covers the core of your identity, your worth, your standing before the Father. It is the piece that protects you from the attacks that comes directly at who you are. The accusations, the condemnation, the shame that says that you are too far gone, too damaged, too guilty to be used for anything good. And here is where most teachings on this gets incomplete. Most teachings say that the breastplate means live righteously, live a good life, make the right choices, be a person of integrity. And that's not wrong, but it's incomplete. The incomplete armor is not partial protection. Incomplete armor is a false sense of security.
Mm-hmm.
And a warrior who thinks he is protected when he is not is more dangerous to himself than the one who knows he's exposed. And the full truth of the breastplate is this: righteousness is not yours. It is the Father's applied to you. 2 Corinthians 5:21. For our sake he made him to be sin, who knew no sin, so that in him we might become the righteousness of God. You become the righteousness of God, not because of what you did, not because of your record, and not because you've earned it or maintained it or deserve it, because of what was done for you. This is the breastplate. It was designed specifically for warriors who know they do not deserve it, because those are the only warriors who will actually receive it. And I know what some of you are thinking right now. I know because I have thought it myself. That sounds good, but you don't know what I did. And you're right. I do not know what you did, but the Father does. And He was there every moment of it. And He was there. And Romans 8:1, I want you to hear this clearly. There is therefore no condemnation for those who are in Jesus Christ. No condemnation, not less condemnation, not conditional condemnation, no condemnation. That is not a pass, but a foundation. You cannot do the work of genuine accountability from a place of condemnation, because condemnation paralyzes. It keeps you in the wound, keeps you performing instead of healing. And grace does not paralyze, grace mobilizes. The breastplate is what makes it possible to turn the face and face the wound without being finished by it. And it's really ironic when I was doing some research that this actually came up. Because when my first deployment, we had a chaplain that came on the plane before we got off.
Mhm.
That was his quote. Before we ever shot the first shot, before we ever got to the, got off the plane onto the base, got ready for, this is actually what he explained to us to get us to understand what we were doing was okay. Because in the Bible it says, "You shall not kill."
Right.
So now the question is, how do we deal with it? How do we get over it? How do we deal with it? And because on this show and because of how we are, we do not sugarcoat it. We do not go the easy route. So the first step, and it's the hardest step, because once you do the hardest step, the rest is cakewalk.
Yeah, it's walking the 1,000-mile journey, but you got to take that first step to do it.
Right. And the first step is name the wound.
Exactly.
I'm not to ask you to tell the world. I'm not asking you to tell one person this week. And here's the best part. It doesn't even have to be anybody. The one person you have to tell is yourself first. Because until you acknowledge it to yourself, telling everybody else is just window dressing. Because you can talk about, and a lot of people can talk about what happened, but in the backside of their mind, they're not acknowledging it happened in the sense that it affects them. It's just a story. So the first and foremost, telling yourself the wound and what happened. Psalm 32:3, listen to this. When I kept silent, my bones wasted away through my groaning all day long. For a day and night, your hand was heavy upon me. Strength was dried up as by the heat of the summer. I acknowledge my sin to you. I did not cover my iniquity. I said, I will confess my transgressions to the Lord, and I will forgive. And you forgave my sin. When I kept silent, my bones wasted away. That's not poetry. It's a physical description of what carrying unspoken guilt does to the human body. The silence is not protection. The silence is the wound staying open. The silence is the infection spreading, which is a lot of reasons why a lot of us, when we get up, end up with medical conditions. High blood pressure, obesity, diabetes, phantom pains, now described as fibromyalgia. And here's what to say. Say something like, there is something I've been carrying and I need to talk about it. And it could be something you just pray and say to God yourself. And that's the whole assignment. You do not have to have a full conversation. You do not have to have it all figured out. Just open the door. The door has been closed long enough. Your pride is going to tell you that opening a door is a weakness. Your training is going to tell you that you handle your own problems. And I am telling you, as someone who has been on both sides of that door, opening it is the most tactically sound decision you will make this week. Because the wound has never named, never heals. And you have been carrying this so long.
You may think it's been healed, but the infection is underneath it, even though it healed over on the outside. It's not healed from the inside. Right?
Exactly. It's kind of like that sore that never quite goes away. That scab that you keep picking at.
Mm-hmm. If you're going to be
And
healed, you have to allow the master physician to surgically remove it.
treat it.
Let him get to
Bandage
the
it.
infection. But you have to be willing to do that.
And that's the very first step. And
That is
because that is the hardest step, we're going to take 2 weeks on this one and come back after Memorial Day. Because after you say it, you identify it, next step after that is separating the action from the identity.
Mm-hmm.
And understanding what you did is not who you are. And I understand how hard that is because in the military, you are a soldier. You combine everything of what is about you into your identity. And now we've got society in a gaslighting world where it's all about labels. And it's all about, owning your label. I am ADHD. I have PTSD. And you've got civilians who got a slap on the hand that are telling you you're triggered. I was a few months ago hosting a seminar on teaching independence with special needs children. And I brought up a real world example of my house. And so I have ramen soup, which is my daughter's favorite food, and fried rice, which is her other favorite food. Both she can cook on her own. And I have frozen pizzas, which is my son's favorite food. So mom cooks a couple meals a day. They're hungry in between meals. They make themselves something to eat. And this lady who'd never had kids now wants to specialize in working with families with special needs and truly believes that kids can only eat healthy food all the time. That's it. Personally, I believe she's nuts, but whatever. So when I talked about my son going to the freezer, taking out a pizza, throwing it in the pizza oven by himself, she stopped me in the middle of the conversation as I'm hosting it to tell me I triggered her. Take a breath. Take a breath. Tabby, go sit down on the toilet. Go sit on the toilet. He's got a gas buildup.
Oh, I
Feels like
hate
his
that.
stomach's gonna explode.
Mm-hmm.
But no, she stopped me to tell me that I triggered her because kids are only supposed to eat healthy food. You missed the whole conversation because you're so closed-minded in what you believe when this is about independence and who cares what they ate. It's my kid, not yours.
Right.
But triggering is such an overused word to not acknowledge and deal with your own problems.
Right.
And so when people have legitimate triggers like fireworks or being tapped on the shoulder, and we say something or do something, we're at fault because society has now decided that everybody has a trigger and we all have to baby everybody.
Right. Not true.
Um, Monday is Memorial Day,
Yes.
and every year we watch about the get reduced to a long weekend in a mattress sale.
Yeah. Or any type of sale.
Right. But Memorial Day is actually a day of remembrance. It's not a celebration. It's a remembrance. It's for the
Right.
men and women who died in the service to this country. It's not those who served, but it's those who died. That distinction matters, and that distinction is everything. The origin of this day goes back to after the Civil War, when communities across the country began decorating graves of fallen soldiers with flowers. And they used to call it Decoration Day. My grandma still called it Decoration Day up until she died. It was grief, it was gratitude. It was a community standing at the graves of the people who paid the price for the freedom everyone else was living. And I want you to think about who Memorial Day is actually for. The 19-year-old who deployed the first time and never made it back. His mother still sets the place at the table on his birthday. The father still cannot talk about him without his voice breaking. The Marine who left behind a wife and two kids who grew up without their father. The kids who learned that their father looked like from photographs. The airman whose family waited years and years to bring him home, who lived in between of not knowing, who had to find a way to grieve without a grave to stand at. Memorial Day is for them. Special operation warriors whose sacrifice was classified, whose family cannot tell the full story, whose family doesn't even know the full story, whose name will never appear in a public ceremony, who gave everything, whose contribution to this country will never be fully acknowledged outside a small circle of people who know. Memorial Day is for them. These are the people Memorial Day is for. It's not for us, it's for them.
Exactly.
Not Veterans Day. Veterans Day honors all who served. Memorial Day honors those who died in service. They are not the same day. They are not the same purpose. And even saying Happy Memorial Day to veterans, stop. The appropriate response is thank you for their sacrifice, or silence, respectful, intentional silence. It's not a 3-day weekend. I'm not telling you this not to enjoy the weekend. I'm telling you to stop and remember why you have the freedom to enjoy it. The freedom to grill in your backyard, to take the kids to the lake, to sleep in on Monday morning. That freedom was purchased. The prices was paid by people who are not here to enjoy it with you. It's not a commercial event. And yet, every year the mattress sale starts, the car sales start, the furniture deals, the holiday promotions, and every Gold Star family watching a commercial Memorial Day weekend feels the weight of how far we've drifted from what this is supposed to be. And we owe them better than that.
They gave up their tomorrows for our today.
Exactly. We will be doing a special show on Memorial Day at 3 p.m. because there is a national moment of remembrance. 1 minute of silence. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you stop. You are still and you remember. So set that alarm. We will be live here. And we'll spend a couple hours hearing stories of from family members of soldiers and honoring this Memorial Day, which we do every year. Stop, be still, and remember. This is not a big ask. It's 1 minute for people who gave everything. To the Gold Star families listening to the broadcast, we see you, we honor them, we will not forget. The sacrifice your family made is not past, it is present tense in the freedom that every person in this country wakes up to every day. We owe you more than we can ever repay, but we will not stop trying. To veterans who lost someone, a battle buddy, a teammate, a soldier in your unit, we carry them with us. Their sacrifice is not a memory. It's a living obligation. We are still standing because they do not let go. We honor them by not letting go either. To active duty service members listening, you know what this day costs. You have seen the price paid. You have been to the ramp ceremonies. You have folded the flags. You've made the calls. Carry with honor. The weight that acknowledges is not a burden. It's a responsibility. Wear it accordingly. To civilians listening, you have a responsibility not to just enjoy the freedom, but to understand what you're remembering. Teach your children. Take a minute at 3 p.m. Mean it. Do not let this day drift any further into the background of a long weekend. To the fallen, I am speaking directly to you now. Even though you are not here to hear it, you did not retreat. Your moment came, you held the line. You made the decision that most people will never have to make. Because you made it, people will never know your name, are living their lives in freedom today. It is not a small thing. That is it. This is everything. We will not let your sacrifice become a footnote. We will not let your name be forgotten. And we will not let this day become just another Monday. You are remembered, you are honored, and you are not forgotten.
Exactly. Good. Yep.
Oh, and our Memorial Day parades lineup starts at 9:30.
Are you in it?
I am supposed to be in it, and I have to figure out which float I'm going to be in.
Oh.
Because the
Float, are you?
Exchange Club, there's a few different ones. So one of them is for the Exchange Club because of what we do for veterans. And then our actual county and our local community has a float designed for female veterans. And there are a couple other ones that I was asked to do. So figuring out what we're doing. We're handing out flags.
There you go.
And depending on how the kids are feeling, they're going to be handing out flags at the same time.
Nice.
Ariana's all excited. She likes handing out flags.
Awesome.
And depending on the heat, we might pick up some ices and hand those out.
I don't know. I'd probably just go ahead and drink them.
Well, lately, like right now, it's already 60 degrees and rising. We've been in the 80s the last few days. And then you hear about places like Wyoming. They're under a winter storm. We're
Yeah.
supposed to get snow.
Yeah. What's up with that?
Apparently, Santa Claus is visiting Wyoming.
There you go. Talk about Christmas in May.
Right? So
Something else.
next Monday we're not gonna do a regular show. We'll be back the following Monday, but I will be hosting a special remembrance at 3 starting at 2 p.m. Central, leading up into the 3 p.m. hour of time of remembrance.
I will be at the Blue Angels Air Show in Harrisburg on Sunday. See if I can't get some
Take
good.
pictures for me.
I shall try. See what I can't do.
And Captain Len Kane used to be a Blue Angel.
Who?
Len Kane.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
And then he went because he can speak like 5 different languages. It's so cool. Um, he went from flying in the Blue Angels to announcing the Blue Angels
I
all
love
over the
the I
world because
love
he
the
can
announcer.
because he can do it in all the different languages and not have to have a translator there.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's what I'd love to do. Translate or speak language.
So I will call you later and we'll set a time to go through the back office. I'll connect with Ron
Okay. Is it going to be like a
because
three-way
I don't
call
have.
then?
We'll probably just do a Zoom or something
Oh,
because I don't have access to the back office yet. I had to wait because I didn't have all the money to get that part of it. I'm getting that this weekend.
what do you mean you didn't get back office yet?
I've got a different back office than you do. I've only got the tech. I don't have the all the travel stuff yet because I had to buy a bunch of stuff for the kids on my check.
Well, okay. Rick was showing me different things, and I got to write it down. I know how to get into my back office. I just don't know where the um how to find the hotels and cruises and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get that set up because what I want to do is I'll actually create a handout or a bullet like a guide
Mm-hmm.
step by step how to do that.
Yeah, we love to do that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you're allowed to create a guide and how to do all that stuff. Like I take the guides that Rick sends me and I create ones for um special needs for like autism so
Mm-hmm.
that it's a little bit less work stuff and can make it more focused.
Yeah, it seems like I understand it while he's talking and helping me, walk through it and everything. But next day, I totally forget everything. I mean, is that normal or what?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Because the visuals aren't there. So yeah, this weekend I'm getting the back off, getting all that stuff. And when I do, I'm gonna create the step-by-step guide for
Okay,
that. Because
sounds
there's
good.
no way I will never remember it until I've done it like a million times.
Yeah, I don't. I
I
don't
mean, I
even
played
have
with this thing.
Yeah,
Huh?
I was going to say, I don't have a, whenever Rick is talking to me and going over the stuff, I can follow him
Mm-hmm.
because he usually shares his screen, but I forget to write it down.
Yeah.
And that and then whenever I go to try and find it, I can't find it. Or I can't remember
Yeah, I'm
where
gonna go
to
through
look.
it with screenshots so that you can see what it is.
So who's what's the name of your that you're using?
I am using Freedom Route Travel,
Freedom
making
Route.
the impossible possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been working with Surge long before I joined it. And so I've been teaching how to use, to ask the right questions. So if you're a veteran with PTSD or um, a family with an autistic child, I give you an agent, I give you questions. I give you a checklist that you run through to know what the sensory issues are, to
Mm-hmm.
know what the problems are, what are the challenges, what are the things that they need to know as a travel agent so that you're booked at in the seat on the plane in the back. So you're not, or you're at the hotel is on the bottom floor off to the side, not on top floor. Making sure lights are down low. You're not booking like every minute of every day. You're leaving spaces to notifying TSA that this child is autistic. So that way, if they get boarded first and when it's still calm, to making sure you book a flight at midnight instead of 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the airport's are the fullest. Things like that.
Hmm. Okay.
I'm not in it so much to book the travel as to teach agents to do what I do. And then to bring in, families that can't work outside the house because they have special needs kids, giving them a way to be able to work on their own schedule at their own time and bring in that extra money. So they're not living paycheck to paycheck,
All right.
working with veterans to, trying to figure out that next step in life, giving them, this tool to help them just get started in something. Working with different organizations to raise money.
Yeah. Are we allowed to put create a Facebook page?
Yeah, yeah, I've got one. Yeah, oh yeah. I can sit down with you when you have time, and we can create your own Facebook page. Um,
That's what I need to do. I'm getting too old to
yeah,
not do something.
yeah. No, we'll set up figure out a time that works for you and a day that works for you, and we'll create a Facebook page. We'll redesign your alignable profile because you are unalignable.
What?
Aren't you on Alignable, the social media platform
No.
for
Oh,
businesses?
don't think so.
I think you created one when you started the radio show. You just never use it.
Hmm. I don't know. We can you can refresh my memory whenever we get there. Whenever we figure that one out.
Yeah, because that's a good place to go with meeting, people, especially other businesses.
Okay. Is that alignablecot.com?
Yep.
Okay. Because I was thinking, I've been actually uh, going out and uh, got into what they call meetup,
Hmm.
and I was looking at some of the travel um, sites they have, or not sites, but travel meetups they got.
Yeah. And so I'll help you create a brochure with your QR codes
Cool.
that you can have printed out, or you can print them out yourself. This Vista print's not very expensive to print out a bunch, so you can hand out. Then you got, business cards, and I'll help you create not only a regular business card, but a digital version of it that you can have everywhere online.
Okay. Sounds good.
And then, yeah, we'll start you out with your vision and where you want to go, and then help create stuff from there.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Alrighty.
Appreciate your help.
Not a problem.
And I love this um, the episodes, the Wake Up Reveille episodes that
Hmm.
you do up.
You
That's
did
good.
get the outline I sent you, right?
I did. I'm looking at it right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then later on today, I'll put together what I have so far, a workbook, and I'll email it to you. So figure out a time, and it doesn't have to be today, just sometime this week, whenever you have time. Let me know, and we'll sit down, and we'll probably use like Google Meet or something. Oh, we could even use the site too. But walk you through the steps
Okay.
and start creating Facebook page, LinkedIn page, and then because you do tours and stuff, create an Instagram page. So, and it's set up with Instagram with Facebook, so that whatever you put on Facebook will go to Instagram.
Yeah.
I'll show you how to use AI.
Cool. I was supposed to give a tour today, but the couple's mother, her mother is in transition right now, so they wanted to stick around, and they wanted to be in the hospital with her. And
Hmm.
so I said, I understand that. And they said, we want to be able to give our full attention to you whenever you give that uh,
Right.
tour. So I said, okay, that's fine.
And yeah, I'm gonna set help you put together like a brochure or like a sales page
Mm-hmm.
packet for like school districts, especially school districts in your area, Boy Scouts,
Awesome. Yeah.
and how they can book tours through you, and you can give them exclusive tours of different sites as field trips, especially Scouts. Then you've got different ROTC programs, things like that. There's a lot of areas you can cover.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we can do. A lot of things that can be done, I should say. That's awesome.
Hmm.
That is so cool.
Yep.
Things I
And
didn't
that's
even
what I
think
do on the
about.
travel side.
Yeah, things I
That's
didn't
it.
never
And that's
even
what I
thought
do
about.
more than anything.
Huh?
That's it. That's what I do on the travel side more than that. Is when I bring you in, I guide you and help you create that area of where you want to go and help you put everything. That's what I like doing. I don't
Yeah.
more than, booking things, stuff like that, is I like helping you create what you want to create.
Well, that's your passion.
It is.
My passion is Gettysburg.
Well, and we're going to make a business out of it.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Sounds really good.
Alrighty.
So